Another person that feels like their accomplishments count despite the competition, despite the lack of accolades, Tyrese Haliburton.
Mm-hmm.
Man, were you watching after Game 6 when the Pacers absolutely obliterated the Knicks and Haliburton and all of his Pacers teammates and everybody was up on the little podium about to get the award? Clearly, Tyrese Haliburton is the best player for Indiana. Clearly, he's their engine. He had 2 duds of a game, and he didn't shoot it that well from 3. But without Tyrese Haliburton, the Pacers are likely more than a shell of themselves. As they were getting ready to announce who gets the Larry Bird Eastern Conference MVP trophy of the Eastern Conference Finals, Haliburton not only pointed at himself, but he started to step forward to take said trophy. And that was when the name that was called sounded nothing like Haliburton. It was Pascal Siakam.
Mm-hmm. The Drewski skit.
It was literally, and that's the thing, art imitates reality and vice versa. That felt like a skit. That felt almost semi-intentional, and that felt like a little bit of disrespect on behalf of the voters. Do you know how the Eastern Conference Finals, like the Conference Finals MVP stuff works?
No.
It is similar to the NBA Finals MVP. They take reporters, people that have been following the series, covering the team. They usually try to mix in a couple national and local, and they do a vote. I believe it was 9 votes for the finals or conference finals MVPs, and the votes went 5-4. Close vote in favor of Pascal Siakam. You look at their stats for the series, Haliburton actually kind of had better stats outside of the fact that Siakam was hot from shooting from deep, so his efficiency looks a little bit better. But Haliburton, I mean, if you objectively speaking, I have no dog in the race. Haliburton's the better player.
Oh, of course. And he is the face of this playoff run for obvious reason.
Oh,
and
my
yes,
gosh.
This is an Eastern Conference Finals award, but sometimes the body of work kind of pushes you over the edge when it comes to hand out hardware towards the end of these series.
And he would deserve that because the moments he has put out there, and I know he had those 2 duds in the series. He had Game 5 when they could have clinched it, 8 points, 6 assists. Didn't really get many shots up, was pretty much useless from the floor, 28% from the floor, not so good. He had another game with just 14 points in the series, but it was 11 assists. He was around, 8 rebounds. He played a full game, and they won that one. So, yes, he had the disappearing act, and that probably put a sour taste in voters' mouths, whereas Siakam was a little bit more consistent in every game. Didn't have the peaks, but didn't have the valleys. I think Haliburton's got to win that award. Now, him not winning it, I do think, though, adds to the motion he has as he gets ready to enter into a NBA Finals against the Thunder, where the Pacers are looking like one of the biggest dogs I've ever seen at the championship stage, especially in the NBA. Have you seen the odds?
It's kind of unfair.
It's like minus 750.
Foregone conclusion, according to the bookies.
Like, we talked about it before, but the NBA Finals ended when the Western Conference Finals ended, and the Western Conference Finals seemed to end like in Game 2. So this right here is a bit of a foregone conclusion. 2 small market teams, 2 teams that don't have a lot of big names on them, but they have seemingly bright futures, are going to be taking things off. I think Thursday we tip off the finals in Oklahoma City, and it feels like what the sports books are telling us and what our eyes likely tell us if you watch what the Thunder have done, this series is all the way over. That's why I feel like a guy like Haliburton has hella motion right now, because he has an opportunity to continue to do the unthinkable. Before the season tipped off, his peers voted him most overrated. And what does he do? The Pacers go through the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the 3 best players in the league. They go up against this Knicks team. I don't know how much credit you want to give them for being I'm not, especially this deep in the playoffs with a coach, a Tibbs coach team. I'm like, they're probably a little bit worn down, and the Pacers ran them up and down the court. So I am not that big on this Knicks team, but they pushed them to 6, and they've been good enough. They beat the dang Celtics, by the way. That was supposed to be a dynasty. And the Pacers in the second round got through the one team that people thought had the only chance to beat the Celtics, and that was the Cleveland Cavaliers, who had like a 64-win regular season, was dominant throughout the East. The Pacers went on an extremely difficult route, and it has ended in the NBA Finals, and you got to give Haliburton, Siakam, and of course, we talked about this last week, Rick Carlisle the credit. They got a lot of motion coming into this thing. I do think that motion gets halted, and I do think that if you're Haliburton, I love how he's cashing in right now. I love how he is stomping on the Knicks' grave, being braggadocious, leaning in on who was it? Somebody said something. Ben Stiller, I think, tweeted something at him, and he's pouring water on them like, you better celebrate now because it's about to get real, really, like the Denzel meme we talked about before. Remember the Titans.
Ain't fun anymore, is it?
Ain't no fun.
My question for you is, and maybe you're not the most qualified person to answer.
I am. I guarantee I am.
Who's more hated? You ask everyone today, right now, from Knicks fans, Trae Young or Tyrese Haliburton? Because that Trae Young hate, it's fun and he plays into it.
Yeah.
But now you have more substantial beef there.
Haliburton got them wanting to fire Coach Tibbs, coming off of the greatest singular season I've ever seen the Knicks have. They were 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. Haliburton did them so dirty that he got them wanting to fire Coach Tibbs. And also, it's got to be Haliburton, not just because of the recency of it all, but he also re-invoked the Reggie Miller choking, which was the last time they were close to doing something big. Like, that was the last time the Knicks had a chance to make it to the finals, was when Reggie Miller hit him with that, and he hit them with that like game 1.
You ever seen the movie Grown Ups?
I have.
With Adam Sandler, and there's a big basketball game at the end of the movie where it's all of the fathers of these kids playing a pickup game, crowd there.
Yeah.
And it's just history repeating itself, and it feels like New York is just doomed to lose to the Pacers in these big moments. And you're just seeing just Reggie Miller, whether it's Tyrese Haliburton, it comes in different formations, it comes in different bodies and humans, but it was really tough to handle that if you're a Knicks fan.
And this one had to hurt more than the Trae Young stuff because of the stakes, because of the amount of belief. I mean, they named streets. They named streets in New York after these Knicks players, and not just like Brunson, not like Brunson Alley. No, I heard it was like dudes all the way down at the end of the bench. They named streets after these dudes. They had Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges. You had the Nova Knicks. They thought they had the favor of the Pope because of the Villanova ties. Like, Knicks fans were all in on this squad, and then that dude, Tyrese Haliburton, beat you while Reggie Miller was also in there parading it on. That had to sting. They hate Haliburton.
Yeah, they hate Haliburton. They hate Reggie Miller. I saw a lot of both Knicks fans and non-Knicks fans saying, how is Reggie Miller on the call? He celebrated with the Pacers after the Game 6 win. Do you think there's any problem there?
That's sports media today anyways, though. That's media today anyways. Like, the lines have been blurred beyond belief at this point. And it doesn't even rub me the wrong way. Like, I mean, yeah, you could say that. Knicks fans can say that. Well, hey, how about the fact that we got Stephen A. freaking Smith giving pep talks to the Knicks before every game on ESPN?
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want him to do? At least Reggie Miller played for the Pacers. Like, at least he's like, yeah, this is a team I spent blood, sweat, and tears on, and I am a professional who does color analyst work now, and the Pacers are relevant. Of course you put Reggie Miller on that. It would be a misallocation of resources not to put the single most important player in Pacers history on the Pacers game. The one time the Pacers are now relevant again, and they haven't been relevant really since the Paul George, Roy Hibbert Pacers that was getting beat down by the Big Three Heat.
And break it down, if Knicks fans, if what you wanted to happen with Reggie Miller not being on the call happened, think about the process of which it would have to happen. A boss over at Turner Sports would have to be like, hey, or ESPN would have to be like, hey, Reggie, we're going to take this opportunity away from you. Why? Because the Pacers are really good, and it's mean. It's mean that you get to broadcast their games to the Knicks fans. If we can't also get Patrick Ewing on the call, then we can't have one of representation. So we were going to take this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity away from you simply because the cards fell in your favor, but too much.
Too much in your favor. This makes too much sense. We don't want to hurt Knicks fans' feelings. I think the issue is really that Knicks fans are a little bit too, self-centered. little bit too sensitive. Like, they think because they watch all of the ESPN coverage with the Stephen A. and all, they think that we're supposed to be having the Knicks pom-poms and cheering alongside of them, whereas instead, no, we're just trying to give you the most quality content around your team, and your team has not been very quality over the past couple of decades. I'm glad y'all made it to this stage. But look, Reggie Miller being there, commenting on the game, had nothing to do with the way that Haliburton drug y'all up and down that court.
Maybe just made it a little more painful for you.
Yeah,
but if it's better for every other fan base in the NBA, I'm okay with that because it made the choke 2.0 much better. Are you kidding me?
The
montage, yes. The montage at the end of Tyrese Haliburton pointing. Who's he pointing at? Is he pointing at Spike Lee in the crowd? What's going on here? No, it's to Reggie freaking Miller. You could have scripted it better.
Dog, that is hard. I'm telling you, man, I don't think the Pacers will win a single game in the finals. Actually, you know what? I think they'll win one.
We'll never think that the Pacers are going to win this series.
Pacers ain't winning this series. Pacers are not winning the finals. If they do, if the Pacers somehow, some way beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't even care if it's injury caused. Like, how soon do they have to erect the Haliburton statue in Indianapolis? With the low key, I would do almost like a Haliburton choking statue with Reggie Miller pointing back at him.
It's got to be equidistant. Like normally, okay, so he was 15.65 feet away. So we're going to put him across the park, a walkway where you walk in between both Tyrese doing the choke and Reggie Miller with the headset on doing the point.
This will be one of the single greatest, most unlike
to scale too.
Right, to scale, life size. I can't think of a more unpredictable champion than this year's Pacers. Again, this is not to discredit theoretically speaking. This is one of the best programs you're going to be able to tune into. And we thank you every time you do. Tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 106.3. And we thank you every time you hop on YouTube and hit in at ESPN West Palm and subscribe and watch us. We are down the line. We are objective. We keep it G with you. That's what CCAT and myself, Theo Dorsey, look to provide you. I'm not trying to discredit us or Tina, who was in on this. Before these playoffs even started, we all got together, and out of the 16 NBA teams, we drafted 12 of the 16. Each of us got 4. 12 of the 16 of who will win the championship as a bet amongst us, all of us. This wasn't like a joke.
No, a lot of opportunities to one of us get that right.
We had a lot of opportunities. And there were 4 teams that obviously couldn't be picked. Nobody wanted the Heat. Rightfully so. They got their ass whooped at a historic pace against the Cavaliers in the first round. Nobody wanted the Magic. Well, yeah, they opened against the Celtics. Of course you don't want the Magic. And then nobody wanted the Grizzlies because they opened in the first round against the Thunder. The 4th team that went unpicked in the theoretically speaking NBA champion draft is now in the NBA Finals. It was the Indiana Pacers. How did we get that? That just shows you, though, and it wasn't that we thought that they were one of the 4 worst teams. It's just the route to the finals was going to be so hard. You telling me the Pacers are going to beat Giannis Antetokounmpo in the opening round and then beat the Cavaliers, who had the best regular season in the East, and then beat what we thought was going to be the Celtics but ended up being the Knicks? Nobody would have predicted that, and here we are.
And in a star-driven league, before the playoffs began, Tyrese Haliburton probably isn't in your top 15 players you want in your team.
No. And now the question is, how far has he risen up that list? Your boy got some motion. It's a Motion Monday here on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3, and Tyrese Haliburton got a hell of a lot of it. And his pops, John, who's welcome back.